Happiness has to start within. Happiness has to start with you. The moment you allow someone else to dictate to you your happiness, you've already failed. You failed at happiness because happiness starts with you.
Mhm.
I say this all the time. Happiness starts with you. When you find that partner, that life partner, that's the bonus. It adds to your happiness, but I'm already happy.
Hey, hey, hey. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about it. With the Thomases. Yeah. Come take a moment, sit down, unwind. We're breaking it down. We're speaking our minds. Real conversations in a love-filled space. Let the vibe touch your heart in the perfect place. Yeah. We're lifting you up. Yeah. Every story we share, from laughter to tears, you know we truly care. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. With the Thomases tonight. Let's talk about it. Everything's gonna be alright. Real love, real truth, real life on the line. Every voice, every heart, yeah, we let it shine. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What's happening, everybody? This is Ty, and this is
Tonya.
and we are back with another episode of Let's Talk About It with the Thomases. And on today, we're going to talk about
love and happiness. Yeah. Something that can make you do wrong, make you do right. Yeah.
Love and happiness
love and happiness.
can make you do wrong.
Make you do right.
We gonna see.
We gonna see. We gonna see love and happiness. When you think about love and happiness, what comes to your mind?
Love and happiness.
Love and happiness. What? I mean, okay, love and happiness, but I mean, everybody has their definition of what makes them happy in a marriage or what makes them happy in a relationship. Hell, what makes them happy as a single person?
Right. Well, I think what makes me happy is breathing.
Breathe again. I'm sorry. I'm still reminiscing. Still reminiscing on the concert.
You know, just finding my partner in life. What makes me happy is that finally listening to or paying attention to the path that God laid for me and followed the instincts and directions. Didn't do what Latanya wanted to do.
Wow.
I did what I prayed and what I vowed that I would do, stay out those streets and let him send me who was meant for me. So
Just go put the
for
ball.
me, that's what happiness is for me, is finding your way, finding your path, accepting your path, learning who you are,
Okay.
understanding who you are, and receiving who you are, and be willing to change if necessary. And if you don't want to change, be able to accept the outfall.
She trying to be all deep and be a philosopher and carrying on. Anyway, happiness is on that level. Happiness has to start within. Happiness has to start with you. The moment you allow someone else to dictate to you your happiness, you've already failed. You failed at happiness because happiness starts with you.
Mhm.
I say this all the time. Happiness starts with you. When you find that partner, that life partner, that's the bonus. It adds to your happiness, but I'm already happy. I'm not going to walk through life and be miserable just because I'm alone. You know, we had some people that said, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? What you going to do for the singles?" I mean, everything that we say applies to married, in a relationship, or single people.
Mhm.
Because at some point in your life, you have to start out single, start dating. That's why we talk about love and dating. Love and dating doesn't just apply to Ty and Tanya because Ty and Tanya are married. Love and dating applies because we had to get to a point before I said, "Will you marry me?" And she said, "Yes." And then we had to get to that point to where we said, "I do." And I think happiness, because she brought her own happiness within herself. She was happy with herself, and I brought my own happiness, and we just came together, and it just gelled. Again, like we said, we put everything on the table. We was like, you know what? This is what we will tolerate. This is what we won't tolerate. Because inside my happiness is peace. And I'm not going to let anything, anybody disturb my peace. It's too costly.
Yeah.
My peace is too costly for someone to come in and disturb, especially when I had to work at it, when I had to go through hell and high water to get to that place of peace. I'm not letting anybody or anything disturb that peace.
But do you know how many people don't understand that concept?
They don't.
It is there I there's nothing worth me losing my peace over. Nothing.
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 Nothing. Not a family member, not
Nothing.
not a job,
Nothing.
not a friendship, nothing. Yeah, of course, I was scrolling the social media pages, as I always do. I always see something on the social media pages.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I always see something on the social media pages
What you see.
that deserves a discussion.
Okay.
And what I saw and I don't know if it was a story that someone made up, or, I mean, I think that this is some people's reality. But the woman was saying, she was sitting on the edge of the bed and she was crying because she just got through cheating on her husband.
Mm.
She cheated on her husband with this guy. And she looked back and she said, this guy was sitting there and he was just sleeping peacefully. I had to laugh and I kept reading. And she said the reason why she cheated was because her husband was broke. Hold up. Time out. Time out. Time out. So did he all of a sudden become broke? Or was he broke when he asked you to marry him and you knew what he was coming with and you decided to say yes?
Or it could have been something devastating that happened that put him in a spot to where he can't produce his portion, and being his partner, that's your time to step up.
That's true. But again, so in that, and I knew that we were going to talk about love and happiness, it told me one thing about this woman. And it wasn't the fact that you weren't happy with your husband. You weren't happy with where you were in life. Because the fact of the matter is that if you had to go climb in the bed with another man that's not your husband,
Mhm.
take your clothes off, open your legs to this man, allow this man to penetrate you. This is covenant. This is sacred to your husband. I had issue with this. I was hotter than fish grease. I don't even know who these people are.
Right.
But it upset me because I take marriage seriously. I take my marriage seriously. I take the marriage of anybody seriously.
Mhm.
But for you to go and betray that man like that, I know it's going to be a lot of people, but Ty, men do it all the time. And you're right. Men do it too. And I'm just as pissed off at them, because why would you lead a woman on to make her believe X, Y, and Z if that's not really what you want to be? And it goes back to when people are miserable, they're not happy with themselves.
Yeah. I would agree. I didn't read the story. I got enough heat off you from it. So, we had our discussion about it over brunch today. So I think, uh, I, for me, I just look at it a whole different mannerism, which I ain't gonna go that deep on the podcast, but I think either way, whether
Why
she was
not? That's what the
provoked,
people want to know.
yeah, no, that was hubby and wife. That was pillow conversation
I
right there.
wouldn't say it was pillow conversation. It's
But
something that people need to know. So you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
As your boy T.I. said, let them know. Let them know.
I mean, my thing is that I just being on both sides of the spectrum at one time in my life, being cheated on and being the cheater, um, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling either way. But what I will tell you, in my strong opinions, a woman is not forgiven or is not looked at as mm, the same as a man if he does that act. And like I told you during our conversation, I feel like it's because the woman stands more invasion than the man. And I get it. When you have that covenant, you're with that person. No one forsake all others. No one should come between you. And someone has allowed someone to come between you. So especially when it just doesn't, it's just not as forgiving. So um
I think in that aspect, when you look at that, listen, I don't care what your makeup is, man, woman, wrong is wrong.
that's true.
Wrong is wrong. So forgiveness on both ends, and it shouldn't be looked over because he's a man. But what you have to understand
Mhm,
is, let's keep it real.
mhm,
Our founding fathers, everything that was founded by a man. And there were times where they were male chauvinistic men. So
mhm,
of course they look down. Of course. Yeah, I mean, when you really look at it, look at other cultures. Look at other cultures. Like, I mean, even in America, right now we're getting to the point to where, women are looked at as being created equal to a man. So if we go biblical, and you look at, and the Bible talks about woman was taken out of the side of the man. She was never meant to be behind him. She was never meant to be in front of him. She was never meant to be underneath him. And,
mhm,
I'm trying to educate some of y'all, give you a little Sunday school lesson. She was never meant to be that. She was taken from his side to walk equally beside him. So you will have some preachers, you will have some people, especially some men, and they do it. They did it. They did it with us as a black race. Okay, we're going to use this as power, and because our ancestors, some of them couldn't read. Okay, yeah, we're going to tell you what it says. It doesn't really say that. But then when you look at other cultures, they don't look at women. You know what I'm saying? They look down upon women, and they come here like, bro, listen, don't do it in front of me. Don't please don't do it in front of me, because it's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. I'm just saying, it's just disrespectful.
yeah.
I think the way that I was raised, the way that I was brought up, I've never. I'm not gonna say I did have my moment where I was a dog. I'm not even gonna lie. I had my moment where I was a dog, but I was pushed to that point. I was pushed to the point, and we talk about this. We have that discussion where I'm always talking about my alter ego. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I was pushed to create because me, myself, I was too easy. I was getting pushed over. So created this alter ego, and he's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. But I'm saying the way that I was raised, because I was raised by women. I was raised by men who honored and loved women.
Mhm,
You see what I'm saying? So it bothers me. It bothers me both ways.
mhm,
It bothers me when men go out here, you got a good woman. I'm not even saying if you don't have a good woman. at least give her the benefit of the doubt to be like, if this is what it's gonna be, look, I don't even want to be with you no more.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? This is not working. Give her that common courtesy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah. But, and then some, we have this, "I didn't cheat, it was just emotional." That's a whole 'nother podcast. Not that you just drink water.
Jesus, you didn't turn this to what I needed it to. Mm.
But, I feel like as well, if you for me, I'm just gonna say this for me. I don't know if you call it emotional or what, but for me, if you had to reach out to another female to discuss something that you felt like you couldn't discuss with me as your wife, I would be unfolded. I would be upset because whether I agree with it, like it, hate it, or love it, I'm your partner. I'm your life partner, and we should be able to discuss anything. Period. Whether I like it, love it, hate it, or whatever. So sometimes when we can't find that peace at home, or we don't want to hear whatever the backlash that person has to say, sometimes you have to sit back and check yourself as that partner. Am I really listening? Because had I been listening, it would have been no need to have that conversation with anybody else. So, you know, um, that emotional texting an old friend or whatever. Yeah, that
Mm.
don't work with me. No.
That means somebody opened the door to something else. But of course, we're talking about love and happiness.
Mhm.
What are, when you look at the things in a relationship, what are some of the things that you look for in your partner that is bonus happiness? Because again, like we said, and we touched on it in the beginning, happiness starts with you.
Mhm. I think for me, bonus happiness for me is the response that person gives to other women in his family.
Okay.
Because I know that if he treats his mom with respect and kindness, sisters, any female that he has a direct relationship with his family and loves, that he's going to treat his partner with that same respect and that same love. So you always pay attention to how someone reacts. That's even come down to friends because you got to love your friends.
True.
So if your friends talking sideways or sometimes way any kind of way to whomever, like man, how are they really gonna talk to you? Like really, you talk to
I
like that.
mean,
That's a lot.
even I don't even think they would come at you sideways like that because they know. I mean, first of all, if they really know you, they know you. You know what I'm saying? You can catch these hands.
Mhm,
So they're not gonna come at you sideways that way. But who are they talking to behind closed doors? Who are they?
mhm,
So for me, what I look for as far as what makes me happy in a partner, and again, I believe that you did touch on it a little bit, is I look for her attentiveness.
mhm,
You know, is she paying attention to what I'm saying? Is she hearing what I'm
mhm,
saying? Because
mhm,
when we talked about that before, talking about listening, talking
mhm,
about communicating to understand, to move forward. That makes me happy because now it lets me know. I mean, I already value myself,
mhm,
but it lets me know my partner sees the value in me, and they value me enough to listen to the things
mhm,
that make me happy. And it doesn't always have to be, I need to look at directly in the camera. Let me move up just a little bit. Let me lean in. It doesn't always have to be money.
mhm,
We get this thing twisted about, oh, he got to have a pocket full of money. Let me go on and preface this, and that's why I said this ain't for the kids. He got to have a big Johnson. He got to, baby, you unhappy with yourself. If you need all of that to be happy from someone else, you unhappy with that. Let me take it on the flip side. She got to have a fat booty. See, they don't care about the money. Men don't care about the money as long as they can, give good fellatio. See, I'm trying to keep it PG. As long as they can do that, As long as they got a fat, they look at and that's immaturity. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you was kind of slow to respond.
I mean, I'm just calculating.
Calculated. I mean, what did we say?
Can't wait to see these comments.
Real, raw, and truthful.
Yeah.
You forgot about the raw part.
Raw,
I don't know about you, but when I said it was going to be raw, it's going to be raw.
Yeah.
I'm not holding no punches back. That's the problem with a lot of people in relationships now, is because nobody takes the time out to address the immature things that they look for, but then they always crying, oh, I can't find a good man. It ain't no good women out there. The dating pool is full of poo-poo. No, it's the choices. I mean, yeah, to a degree, but because of, and I'm not saying lower your standards by any means, but some of the standards you have, you're putting those standards on physical attributes that could possibly be changed. I ain't trying to date him. He ain't got no teeth. Baby, they got all kinds of false teeth that he can buy. He can change the aesthetic of what he looks like.
Yeah. I just think that too, you need to, first of all, like we said, love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody.
True.
If you don't love yourself or not happy with yourself, you can't be happy or do anything right for your kids, if you have them, for yourself, for, I'm not going to say work not going to go right, because a lot of people, that's where their most fate is, at work, because they got to, survive or whatever the case is. But what I will say is that just make sure, loving yourself and loving you first is the main key. Because make sure you understand who you are, what you want. But, again, like we said in a couple episodes, you don't advertise everything. Sometimes finding a good mate is sometimes like a research project. You gotta try out them hypotheses. Not everything. Sometimes plan A don't always work.
I failed hypotheses. I failed that. You know what I'm saying? I'm using them big words.
I mean, okay, so how do you think formula, you know how the cleaning spray 409 got its name?
Nope.
Because on the 409th time is when it passed the FDA and all that approval.
You know it.
I'm just saying. So 408 other hypotheses failed.
I know what hypotheses are, man. I'm just making it entertaining for the people.
Oh, I understand, but I'm just saying, I know you know what it is, but I'm just saying you just can't give up. Sometimes it's more than one try. It can't always be, you have to have a backup plan to the backup plan.
And it's not necessarily a backup plan. Again, because people, and I count this towards until your mindset changes, until your mindset matures. We have a certain set of standards, or we have a certain list that if he doesn't check off or she doesn't check off every box on this list, I can't get with him. Here goes another thing.
List away.
Here goes another thing. And I'm really, 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 really big on this. And it depends on what you want out of life. You have to make sure that you are surrounding yourself. We talked about this last episode, because we were talking about surrounding ourselves with like-minded couples and things like that, depending on where we want to go as a couple, what we want to accomplish, what we want to do. Yeah, we have our own goals, but there's some people, and it doesn't necessarily mean that our goals exactly match their goals. But how did you get to where you are? How did you? And I'm going to say this. I'll say this before I go into what I'm going to say. I'll say this. And the reason why I say that is because I had a comment today talking about this thing that we do, this podcast. And you look at the numbers, you look at this, and we're getting views. We're not getting viral views yet. We're not getting viral views yet, but I'm just a firm believer that it's going to happen, because somebody is going to tell somebody else, hey, you need to listen to what the Thomases are talking about. Because Formula 409 is working for them.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's working. But I had this person tell me that A lot of people need to hear what we're saying, but they won't pay attention to what we're saying because we don't have a big name. This person said because they've been married for 15 years and they're still learning something. Now, when somebody has been married, we haven't even been married one.
Mm-hmm.
So for somebody who's been married for 15 years that can benefit, like I said, we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? We're not experts. We don't have any degrees that say, you know what I'm saying? We're experts in this. We just,
I got degrees.
you ain't got no degrees that says you an expert in marital counseling.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Other
See,
things.
see. Get yourself one of them things called a wife. It's not for the weak. For those of y'all that know who I'm referencing, again, David A. Arnold, rest in peace, good man. But I'm saying we don't know everything. There's people that we learn from. We learn from experiences through relationships that we had. We've both been married before.
Mm-hmm.
So if we didn't learn from that, hey, you know what? There were some parts, and I wasn't looking at everything that she didn't do. What was it that I did that may have caused her to react the way she reacted in the first marriage? What did I do? What was my part? It goes back to what you said. You got to come out of denial and say, I ain't did nothing. It ain't, baby. It was, you did something. You did something. You're not, nobody's perfect.
All right.
Nobody's perfect. And it's how you handle the situation. It's how you handle the situation. But what I'm saying and what I was getting to and what I was referencing is you have to stay away from negative people. What I mean by that is just because you went through a similar situation that someone else went through, they're going to be, man, dog, you know what I'm saying? Blase this and blase that. And women ain't this and this, that, and that. Hold up. Because see, I still desire to be married. So I ain't got time to be hanging with you, yapping all this negative stuff in my ear when I'm trying to find my soulmate. I'm trying to find my life partner. And because I've been done wrong, that goes both ways, men and women. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times what will happen, you can attest to this because I don't know. I'm on the outside looking in. You can attest to this, especially with a lot of women when they get a dog man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people keep trying to tell them, hey, that brother ain't no good. He ain't no good. Need to leave him alone. He ain't no good. But you still be hard-headed. Boom. Bump your head. Till finally you realize, hey, they was right. But then somebody else comes along, has a similar experience. So now you're focused on the dog A brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you missing your king because you focused on what this person done to you. And not just because you're focused on that, but you got somebody else over here in your ear talking about, yeah. Misery loves company. Sweetheart, if you want to be single, stay single.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you want to be single, stay single. Because first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal. I'm going to find happiness in myself. And then I'm going to find my good woman for the fellas, or I'm going to find my good man for the women.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I definitely agree. And yeah, you can attest to I can attest to that. When it's kind of hard sometimes because you don't want to sound like a hater
Right.
when you tell somebody that the person they might desire or may think is checking off all their boxes is out here checking out somebody else's box. That's it's kind of hard. Um, I would never forget that I had a friend. This is years ago, probably in, I don't know, 97, 98, about 97, 98. Um, Very good. First of all, we couldn't stand each other at first, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And now we worked together. We couldn't stand each other. Um, it just couldn't stand each other at first. And then we ended up, I don't know, maybe growth, age. We ended up becoming friends. And I think because my daughter and her sons end up kind of becoming friends once middle school time, so whatever. But I know that she asked me one time, had I seen, her husband out. And I'm like, "Well, what are you asking?" Of course, I see him out if I'm out. Um and she was just trying to hint at different stuff. Or do you see? I said, listen, I said, I don't know what you exactly trying to ask. I said, but what I would tell you is that when I see him, he come in with his road dog, which I ain't gonna say no name, but he come in, they always together, they speak, whatever. He'd be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? What you drinking? Da, 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 over there, take care of whoever at my table. And, he'd be like, "All right, we'll see y'all." Okay. And I see him leave with that same person. I leave with whoever I'm with. That's all I know. And I don't know what you're getting at. I said, but I want to answer your question. If you asking me, have I ever seen him leave with another female or go with another female? No. Has he danced with other females? Absolutely. Hell, I dance with him, but I don't want your husband. But if you're asking me, have you know what I'm saying? Have I
Right.
seen him outside of what you're looking for? No.
Right.
But well, have you heard anything? Well, hell, of course we've all heard it.
Right.
But you're asking me, have I seen something? I'm not gonna be that one, especially if I ain't seen it.
Mhm.
But if I had seen it at that relationship we had back then, I couldn't see myself saying, "Yeah, girl, I saw this," because I knew the type of person it would've just triggered her, and she been on one of them shows that we watch.
Mm-mm.
Because, yeah, she don't play that, well, like, me times 2, 2.0. So, if I knew something, I wouldn't have dared, not back then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know? But, you know, then how the tables turn. You know what I'm you know what I'm saying? So, I just, from experience, I've learned that if I don't see it, keep your mouth shut
True.
because and it literally isn't your business, but it's not your business. But if you're it's a difference between you being a tight homegirl, homeboy, and you got some good vibe with stars, be like, hey, dog, I don't know if this is 100% true, but let me put you on this game. Now, you ain't heard it from me, but you hearing it from me. But this is how I heard it. Don't know if it's true. That's what you tell to somebody that you got a good relationship. You can't
Facts.
tell that to somebody who, yeah, we socialize sometimes, but they're gonna go find out the handle.
Right.
So, it's catch 22. But, and that's one person that I would say that I know that they've been through a lot, but not one time had I ever seen her or with other females that we all had become friends try to down talk us out of being in relationships, or even though sometimes you knew what she was going through, she always was like the most supportive person. And that's kind of how we got to become friends, to be honest with you. Because when I was going through my divorce and I didn't tell anyone, she could see the change and she kept asking me, was I okay? And until I took my ring off is when, yeah, of course, everybody figured it out at that point. But I'm just saying, that's kind of when we became a little bit closer.
I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell. Nah, I'm serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you my boy,
I got to see it before
and
I tell it. I'm sorry.
nah, I'm saying if I see it, I'm gonna tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell.
I mean, I'm not going
Listen.
to say I'm not going to tell, but what I'm going to say, it depends on who you are because some women you can't tell shit. Oh, that ain't my man. Oh, you didn't see him out there. I know I wear glasses, but god darn. You know.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Really?
Go send us straight. That's what you gonna do. That's what you gonna do.
That's just,
But again, happiness starts with you. So we came on to talk about love and happiness. We happy because we came into the relationship happy.
Mm-hmm.
We happy because we laid everything on the table. We happy because we know how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
We happy because we don't allow outside interference to interfere in our marriage. Period.
Period.
Family, whoever. When you become husband and wife, it's us. You know what I'm saying?
And we had that told to us 4 times verbally at our wedding reception.
Now here's what's crazy. And the thing of it is our child ain't even married yet.
Yeah.
She said that. Matter of fact, I think somebody wrote it in our
in the little wish box.
the little wish box.
A teenager as
It
well
was a
wrote
teenager.
it. And
A
somebody else.
teenager.
But again, happiness, you need to be happy. You need to love yourself. And loving yourself is your first key to happiness.
That's it.
To be able to
That's
be
it.
in a healthy you. Because if you're not healthy as far as loving yourself and trying, you know what? You can be finding yourself and discovering yourself and a good mate or somebody that you're attracted to and that's attracted to you, and you guys are maybe at the same place and trying to get there together. It's okay. That's a journey that you could share together. But what I would tell you is don't get into that journey if you're not completely healed or still have, feelings from past things of how they make you receive people. Nobody's saying that you still in love with, Johnny May or whoever, but
Johnny
you
May.
still may be, yeah, that's the only name I know to say.
Johnny May.
Nobody's not saying that, but what we're saying is that the actions that made you react that way, because I'm a firm believer in that we'll address all anytime somebody react to something, we got something to say. We on that good internet, we on that good Google, we on Facebook telling this story or Instagram or whatever. Keep your stuff private. Everybody ain't got to know your business.
Well,
Keep your stuff private.
Everybody wants to be viral.
But
that's the thing.
Yeah, some things aren't made to be viral. And you need to you need to make sure that you're happy and that you can deal with it. Because if you accept it and change it and fix it to where you like it and you love it, then, when you introduce your partner to yourself or the real you, it's going to be okay. But that's the only way that, in my opinion, that you can be happy is loving yourself and be happy with yourself first.
Listen, if you don't know how to love yourself, I got a course that I could teach you how to love yourself for $59.99. I'm playing. I'm playing. But again, of course, happiness starts with you. It starts with loving yourself. It starts with healing. If you've been through something and you need to heal, make sure you surround yourself with people who support your healing journey. But again, like I said, happiness starts with self. I was happy before I met her, but when I met her, my happiness multiplied. So, love and happiness is all about, it's what you want out of life. It's what you want out of life, not what somebody else around you has. It's for you. Y'all know the song. Some of y'all know the song, "What God Has for Me is for me." That's real. Stop wanting something that somebody else has. It's not for you. What God has for you is for you. On that note, it's been real, it's been raw, and it's been the truth. And just know that some conversations can change everything.
Everything.
As always, I'm Ty.
And I'm Tonya.
Peace.
Love and happiness. But wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right. Yeah, happiness is when you really feel good about somebody. There's nothing wrong being in love with someone. Yeah. Oh, baby, love love and happiness. Love and happiness.